How's it going? Dave from Comic Book Investment. So in this video, we're going to look at 5 keys that are going up in price. Yes, what does that mean? They're heating up and they're rising and rising and rising. Some of these rising quite a bit. An independent comic book up 489%. Yes, this is a good one to get. I think I put it on some list that I've done a long, long time ago, but nonetheless, it's on here today. I got to remind you guys, today the auction is ending. Yes, if you haven't noticed, I have an auction going on over at collectorscomics.com. It's my website, it's my auction. I've been doing it over for a year now. This is our 5th one, do it every quarter. And yes, it's ending today and tomorrow, which will be the 11th and 12th, Saturday and Sunday. So the first run of books are ending today. Goes from basically now until, until it ends. And yeah, so go over there, head over to collectorscomics.com and look at the stuff we got. We got over 1,000 different items to bid on. All right, so let's jump into it. We got Zelda number 1. 8.5 is up 115% from $86 to $186. 9.2 is up 29% from $180 to $232. And 9.8 is up 79% from $1,000 not too long ago, now selling for about $1,800. So the reason why this is jumping up is because obviously Mario movie is coming out, which I predicted. And then they also announced that they're doing a Zelda movie, which I predicted. And you can look at those predictions many, many years ago. Many, many years ago. When I predicted that this was going to be the obvious path for Nintendo. Now, the downside was that I happened to predict it right around, or maybe it was a bit before the comic boom happened, and so prices were just going insane regardless. So, yeah, kind of sucks that, or it would have been an amazing spec book. But nonetheless, it went up because the comic boom started going down, and now it's going up again, and I imagine it'll start peaking here and there randomly as it gets closer to more information on the movie and such. All right, next we got All Star Comics 58 first appearance of Power Girl. A 9.2 is up 19% from $294 to $349. A 9.4 is up 3% from $358 to $370. And a 9.8 is up 41% from $1755 to $2475. So this is going up because, I don't know, James is going to announce something. Who knows? I don't know. Now, I did a video last week explaining there's certain books you need to sell, like a Booster Gold, things like that. So far off. This one is a little different because Power Girl has more going on in terms of collectability and people desiring this book. So I don't think this book is just going to shoot up and drop down because it was already kind of an expensive book to begin with. Like, for example, it peaked earlier, like about a year ago, for almost, $3,300. So, yeah, it was already expensive. It's not like, what was the book? Like the Weird Tales, whatever the first appearance of that monster group. It was basically worthless before, near worthless, or I think Authority was pretty much no one cared about much before, and then now all of a sudden it's who knows how expensive it is. It keeps going up and up and up. Same with like a Booster Gold, things like that. So they're not very expensive to begin with. This one was already expensive, so it was much more desired. So I imagine it's gonna see a spike up. It's gonna wane after a while. This is gonna be a longer turn of events for this book. All right, next we got House of Secrets 92, first appearance of Swamp Thing. A 6.0 is up 6% from 1,600 to 1,725. An 8.0 is up 91% from 2,300 to 4,400. And a 9.4 is up 20% from 9,900 to almost $12,000. So this is a record price for a 9.4. Yeah, it's pretty much, look at that graph, just straight up. Yeah, Swamp Thing, this is always a good book. I recommend it. I put it on like my top 10 investment books for 1970. So even though they announce a Swamp Thing movie or TV show, whatever they're going to do, this won't see the huge boom from it and then just crash right after. It's not going to happen with this book. It might go up a little bit and drop a little bit from time to time, but overall, this is still a good book. I still highly recommend this book nonetheless. And yeah, I mean, it's going up, and I hope good old Swampy gets his, his justice because he's been kind of, I don't know, kind of screwed over multiple times. So hopefully it all works out, which is kind of interesting that this character has had a lot of movies made about him, or like some kind of TV show or something compared to any other character. And I still consider him not like a huge character. For some reason, he just lends himself easily. He had an animated show in like I think the 90s, lasted all of like 4 or 5 episodes. All right, next we got Turtle Mania #1. An 8.5 is up 64% from 432 to 710. A 9.2 is up 108% from 289 to 600, and a 9.8 is up 17% from 1545 to a record price of 1800. So this was given out at usually Comic Cons, things like that. You could also mail in for certain ones. So they had different editions. They have this edition, which is the normal one. I don't know how print runs in the thousands, multiple thousands. But then they had the silver edition, which looks very much so like this. Very hard to tell. You have to see them in person. And that had, I think, a print run of like 500. I don't know, going off the top of the head. But the hard one to get is the gold edition. Now, the gold edition you had to mail away for, and it was a limited supply. So they would go to these Comic Cons, I think in '86, and give out these books. And then in it, you could mail away for the gold edition. The gold edition, it's like $50,000 to $100,000. Yes, there's only 10. Each one has a custom drawing by either Laird or Eastman inside. If you have one of those, let me know. I would like it. But very rare, very expensive. 9 have been accounted for of the 10 that exist. There's still one unknown. They don't know who has it or if it got thrown away or trashed or whatever. There's also like a cover proof of it. And then there's one that they used as like an advertisement proof. So there's technically 12. The 2 don't really count. The one is just like a cover. It's just the cover. And another one is like the book inside, but it has like a special cover that's for like an editorial something, advertisement something, I don't know. Something like that. But extremely, extremely rare. So if you have one, they're very expensive. All right, next and last, we got Cerebus #1. A 4.5 is up 18% from 1650 to 1950, and Ado is up 489% from 1500 back. The last one to sell was in 2019, now up to $9,000, and an 8.5 last one to sell was in 2021 for $3,000. Now selling for recently about $10,000, up 233%. So Cerebus was the longest running independent comic book up until Spawn beat it. I think Cerebus stopped at issue 300, and then obviously Spawn beat it, not too long ago. But yeah, it's a very long running thing. This book lends itself to there's a counterfeit of it, and it's kind of hard to tell, but there's a lot of information online where you can figure out how to figure it out. So not that hard. But there's like little tall tale signs. It has to do with the red and ink and the colors are a little off and things like that. So, but even the counterfeit is actually pretty expensive as well. So not this one. Very expensive book. Didn't really see much for Comic Boom because the Comic Boom more went towards, how do I put this? People that didn't know much about comics and just went after the big names. Let's just put it that way. And so books like this, no one really knew about it because it's actually rare. There's not that many of them that are available and around. So not really much of a comic boom for these types of books because they don't come up that often. So that'll be it. Check out my auction, collectorscomics.com, and have a good weekend.